Thursday, June 6th, D-Day. Not Damon Day, D-Day. But it is really good to have you here. Thanks to all who served. My God, World War II. That was a big operation, right? We have a very tiny little operation here. We brought the operation down to Santa Clara yesterday. Thanks for watching all the Training Camp Confidential updates. Again, I'm famous for letting you know that I don't cover practice. I cover games. But I went down, made an appearance, shook some hands, kissed some babies, and it was good. Good to get my eyeballs on the 49ers. You get them. You know, you have to be impressed by the size and speed by which NFL players move. It is incredible, and you sort of forget it in between seasons. You step away from it, and you forget just how big and how fast everybody in that league is. And then you're standing on the field next to them, and you're just like, oh, my God, they literally walk faster than I can run. That's how much of a world-class athlete everybody out here really is. And everybody brought Brandon Ayuk was out there for the 49ers on Wednesday. And here we are on Thursday, and I want to tell you about what we're about to see in special teams, because I think we're really through the looking glass on something that is so new and so different and will be so disruptive to the early, call it quarter of the football season, because there are 32 NFL teams trying to figure out what the hell to do with these new hybrid kickoff rules that the NFL is implementing this year. Now, when you go to training camp, they ask you to, put your phone away after about the fourth session. These sessions are split up into like 8, 10, 12-minute sessions, and then the horn sounds, and you can film the individual drills for like the first 4 or 5 sessions, and then they go into teamwork. And then teamwork, they ask you to put the phone away. But if you forget in that moment to take your phone out and maybe film something, they'll politely walk up to you and say, remember, this is a non-filming session. Please put that away. When they were going over special teams, I got the feeling that if you took out your phone and started filming anything, they might have just confiscated it from you. That is how protective the 49ers are being when it comes to their special teams kickoff preparation. And I would imagine that every other team in the NFL is also trying to A, figure the rule out, B, interpret how other teams will handle the new rule of kickoffs, 3, just trying to figure out what it is. They had officials at the mini camp who didn't quite understand the new rules of the new hybrid kickoff either. I went up and asked a few questions, and he said, I'll give you a thumbnail sketch, but I'm not sure. And he wasn't an actual, going to be working this upcoming season NFL official. These are rent officials that some NFL teams bring out to just help them through their practice. And he said, look, I'm just here to make sure nobody goes off sides. But this really is going to be a very unique wrinkle to the season, which will level out and find its own path, somewhere in the middle of the season. By the end of the season, everyone will be an old pro at it. It's a copycat league. Teams are going to see what works and what doesn't work. They'll double down on what works. They will eliminate what isn't working. But how these teams go about executing this new kickoff is going to be absolutely fascinating. As I said, when we did a late night wake up after dark with yours truly and Larry on Wednesday night. And look, the special teams returners that the 49ers had out there just returning kicks is basically a kaleidoscope of different body types. They don't even know what they're really looking for in this return game yet as they practice it. You had Ronnie Bell, Trent Taylor, Elijah Mitchell, Cody Schrader, and Terrell Owens' son out there returning kicks in this new hybrid rule, which doesn't allow the team that is kicking off to run towards the ball until the ball is caught by the receiving team, or until the ball bounces inside a designated landing area, which is inside the 20-yard line, and then inside the actual 20-yard markers, not the hashes, but the markers of the 20-yard line. If the ball bounces there before it is kicked off, the kickoff coverage team can start running towards the team returning the football. And this is going to make how teams go about executing this kickoff a little bit of a case-by-case different basis. You're going to have some coaches who I just think are saying, like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if this were the 49ers, because Kyle does err on the side of conservative pretty much everywhere. And he's probably just going to say, you know, kick it off through the back of the end zone anyways. Just do that. Let's just eliminate this as much as we can. There are going to be other coaches who are going to try to steal a possession by creating a turnover and have a kickoff that is tantamount to a pitching wedge more than it is a driver. I think you're going to have teams looking to get funny bounces in that landing area to maybe recover. It is going to be team by team, case by case basis to see how this is figured out. Who's good at it to begin with? Who's bad at it to begin with? Then who takes the we're good at it, so now we're adding wrinkles to it? How long will it take for an NFL team to actually run some sort of reverse or double looky-loo, you know, really like some trickeration around this? It's going to be fascinating to see which teams embrace this, which teams kind of fear this, and which teams would rather just sort of avoid it. And it feels like the league really will be separated into those thirds, because that's just the way it goes. There are going to be teams who run towards this as an advantage. There are going to be other teams who feel that this is a disadvantage and try and get away from it. It will be a fascinating thing to watch unfold. It's the biggest change in football in 50 to 100 years. I mean, it really is in terms of game day procedure, protocol. You can say moving the extra point back was a big change. It was a big change for the place kicker, but it didn't essentially change the play that dramatically. It changed the outcome of the play. It took a near automatic extra point and made it a little bit more questionable. Still happens very routinely, but a little bit more intrigue and interest. But they still kick that extra point in the same way. This is a whole new ball game. This is a whole new ball of wax, and watching teams uncover it, it's just going to be, I think, the most fascinating thing to look at in the beginning of this season. A 32-team sprint to figure out how it works, the wrinkles, and how each team is going to go about approaching the new hybrid kickoff rule. It's going to be absolutely fascinating. It really will be. Again, you go down to Santa Clara and you can't help but notice that Kyle Shanahan runs an incredibly well-oiled machine. There is no wasted seconds, much less wasted minutes in between these sessions. There is clock-like precision in the way the 49ers practice. It's pretty impressive to watch. I wish I could bring you all down there, and through the miracle of some videos that I was allowed to capture, I guess I did bring you down there. Thank you very much for watching and supporting the channel. Some really good growth news about the channel that I'll slip into the end of today's show. Hopefully you stick around for the end of this one here today. But thank you. Thank you for being here as always, and thank you so much to our sponsors here. Damon Brew Show, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches. And my man wants to upgrade that sandwich into a combo and wants to remind you that, you know, Ike's isn't just for lunch. You got some serious hearty sandwiches like the Adam Richmond, the Damon Bruce, an awful lot of those steak sandwiches. You can turn that Jamie Sirewich right into dinner if you want to, especially if you like add a little bacon, which I'm never afraid to do on a fried chicken sandwich. That's absolutely delicious. Use promo code Damon Diner. Between now and tomorrow, this expires on Friday, so take advantage of this now. When you're ordering Ike's on the Ike's app at checkout, use promo code Damon Dinner. Did I say diner? Sorry, Damon Dinner. Damon Dinner. No, Dinner Damon. That's it. Sorry. It is Dinner Damon. Oh, God, I apologize. I'm screwing up my own promo codes. Dinner Damon will get you a combo. Free drink, free bag of chips to go along with your meal when you use that Ike's Rewards app, so do that. There is no app for our good friends at the Dubliner, but they got a bar stool for you to just pull up on and use that. No apps, but they will accommodate your ass when you go to the bar. They will give you a great seat, a great Guinness, and drink specials for Plusers certainly coming soon. Thanks so much to Kenny for all of his continued support and everyone at the Dubliner. Absolutely love having you guys guys in the mix, in the fold. It is awesome to have you aboard. And again, my man Ike, thank you so very much for all the sponsorships. Like and subscribe to the channel. Duh. Beyond that, it would be great if you go out and you support the sponsors that are supporting this channel. It would mean an awful lot. And speaking of meaning an awful lot in terms of support, Damon's a poppin'. Happening on Friday at Line 51. Now, no wake up again this Friday. Larry was out of wake up all week. That's why we did a wake up after dark on Wednesday. It's there for you to click on. You can find it easily. But on Friday, Damon Amendolara of Mad Dog Radio and Damon Bruce of Right Here. It's a home game for me. It's an away game for Amendolara. We are going to be at Line 51 in Oakland from noon to 3 to start the festivities that are the last dive bar guys running the reverse boycott game once again for the A's. A's are going to have the Toronto Blue Jays coming to town. They got a day game with the Mariners this afternoon, but we'll have the Blue Jays coming to town for the reverse boycott, and hopefully you plan on coming out and supporting the last dive bar guys. There's no real need to support the A's. They're abandoning you, but this community is awesome. It really is. And what is happening, even though John Fisher has committed no crimes here, yet in my mind, he remains one of the single biggest criminals in the history of the city of Oakland for what he is doing to this city, robbing generational memories from A's fans. The whole thing is just despicable, and we will be highlighting what a despicable SOB John Fisher and company really are and what they've done. We're going to be talking to the mayor of Oakland. I believe Trevor Bauer is coming on by. We're going to have a little Bauer outrage, and that's going to be a really fun time at Line 51 from noon to 3, a live in-person show. Damon and I are going to be taping a show as well. How much of the tape show and live show can actually be melded together for everyone to hear it and be all mic'd up right? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it all out as we're doing it, but I'm so excited to have Damon in. When you see him, I want you to walk up to him and thank him for coming on out. He's one of the few national guys that is really paying attention to this local story that isn't getting nearly the national run that it should. So it's awesome. Leave it to a Damon to find the good sports story. Never doubt a Damon. Never doubt a Damon. Let's see. What else have we got going on here today? Coming out of training camp, I was in football mode. I was watching a little of X's and O's with Greg Rosenthal and Doug Farrar. And they came up with a little bit of a new, not jargon, but this is just, it shows the evolution of football happening in real time. Defensive line value, and we've been talking about this for well over a year now. Like, there are so many stud defensive ends that the league has basically decided what's the greatest way to take them out of a play. And the best way to take your stud defensive end out of a play is to make sure that ball is out of the quarterback's hands by the time that back foot hits that third drop step. That's what the NFL is right now. Hike, ball's out. Hike, ball's out. Hike, less than 3 seconds, ball's out. So they were talking about the Raiders, who paid an awful lot of money for defensive lineman Christian Wilkins in free agency. And Greg Cosell has an awful lot of inside information, and he unveiled a new way to look at sacks that I never really considered. Wilkins had 6 sacks and 22 pressures against 3-step drops. Like, I've heard pressures talked about, but never in terms of how it relates to the amount of drops that a quarterback is taking. And if that is now something that the NFL is tracking, it's something that the NFL has deemed this is important. So getting to a quarterback, getting a pressure, getting a sack isn't just good enough on its own merits anymore. It's, can you do it in 3 seconds or less? Like, that is where this league is going. So as we were watching defensive line play out a little bit at training camp practice, those D tackles have more responsibility to get to the quarterback now than just 2 or 3 seasons ago when that was basically the territory of the defensive end. You D tackles, you make sure you guys shut down the run game. You DNs, you make sure you go get the quarterback. And that's how we're going to come out here and play defense. Kind of have to inverse that, right? You have to sort of rethink that a little bit, where maybe your edge guys are playing contain in the running game, trying to funnel everything in the middle, and it's up to D tackles to go get the quarterback because that's the shortest, straightest line to the target. So something to keep an eye on. By the way, scary scene in Kansas City on Thursday morning. The Chiefs canceled all team activities today after a backup defensive lineman, a 5th-round pick in 2023 out of Stephen F. Austin. His name is B.J. Thompson, and B.J. Thompson is in stable condition after having a seizure in a team meeting that led to him going into cardiac arrest. That's a bad day of minicamp. That's a bad day of training camp. That's a scary thing that gets everybody's nerves on edge. I mean, to have, death walk into your meeting room and hang out with you for a second, that's a scary thing. The word is that he is in stable condition at a Kansas City area hospital, but man, that'll put the fear of God into an entire NFL franchise. Very scary thing. Glad he is okay. We talk about what's a good training camp practice. Real simple. No one got hurt. I've got an even better training camp practice for you. Nobody died. And thank God that that's the case in Kansas City this afternoon. So, how's the chat going? Everybody good? Oh, Otis is saying, hey, Damon, thank you so much for your report on training camp yesterday. Again, I cover games, not practice, but every now and then I like to go down and take a little looky-loo, and I'm glad that I did. Really glad that I did. Good morning to you all. Otis, thank you so very much. I'm glad that you were, glad you're on it. Glad you're watching. Michelle Haberman tapping out today. No plusing for me today, but I'll see you tomorrow. She's supporting Line 51 in the dive bar for the FJF reverse boycott. Oh, yeah, she will be there. No doubt about it. Show is live. 49er Ultimate Report. Thank you very much. We're trying to keep it live over here. We live. Here we are. We live. Big Mac saying, we talking about practice again. I normally don't talk about practice. I like to cover football games. It's just that simple. I also like a well-timed sip of the day, and we got one right there. How are your over-under bets doing? What are we, 18 minutes into the show? I don't even know. I'm not looking at these things. I don't want to doctor or game the system. Anon X. Hitting that like button. Thank you very much for hitting the like button. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button too. We're going to be on our way to 21,000 subscribers. Probably be there by Monday if it's a good weekend here for the channel. Again, May was a pretty good month for the channel. We'll give you some details since, again, this isn't just about my success. This is your success. We're building this whole thing together. We really are. I've felt an incredible amount of support from you. I really, truly have. So thank you. We've just crossed the 5 million views threshold, which, again, a very humble number for others. For me, it's a sign of a good start, sign that it's working. The NBA comes back into focus with Game 1 of the NBA Finals finally getting to us. Finally. Joji saying, hey, Damon, konnichiwa. Konnichiwa, Joji. Thank you for being here as always. Good to see you. Good to see we actually got some basketball. And it's not like we're going to have basketball for very long. This is nuts. Game 1 is in Boston. Game 2 is in Boston. Game 1 is this evening. Game 2 isn't until Sunday. Come on. Give it to us, NBA. Get into a series and stop trying to make the NBA Finals as long as the Summer Olympics. Mavericks at Celtics. The Luka's a bitch t-shirts have already been printed and being handed out in Boston. It's a lovely greeting from Celtics fans, as always. My heart is telling me Mavericks. My brain is telling me Celtics. I think the whole Kyrie coming back to maybe stick it to the Celtics would be a hell of a storyline. Watching the resurgence of Kyrie, the basketball player, becoming more important than Kyrie, the headache, has been an awful lot of fun this postseason. I've been on Team Luka since he joined the NBA, and I'd love to see him get a championship. It feels like, though, for Boston is in like San Francisco 49ers territory. You got to win one with this group as it's built, or I don't know if you can bring this group back again. So the Celtics got all the pressure in the world. They're supposed to be here. The Dallas Mavericks aren't. So a little house money. Luka playing for his first NBA championship. Kyrie with a chance to win a second after looking to be a guy who was just totally lost in the woods of what the NBA was supposed to mean to him. Felt like it was a distraction. Felt like his NBA career became an inconvenience to him. Basketball means something to Kyrie again, and it's obvious. He's playing out of his mind. The Stanley Cup begins on Saturday. Oilers at Panthers should be a good series. If you want to make sure that nobody wins $100, walk around downtown, any downtown today, and say, name me 2 Oilers and 2 Panthers, and I will give you $100. I promise you, you will go home with that $100. Not an awful lot of star power, not a lot of marquee power, but I don't need it. Championship round in any sport is something I will watch. I love playoff hockey, Stanley Cup playoff hockey. That's as good as it gets. So I will be there starting on Saturday. Sure, I'll watch some Stanley Cup. The boys like hockey. They do. They like watching. What else we got today in terms of NBA news with the NBA Finals? Have you seen the story that Dan Hurley, UConn's head coach, is in serious discussions with LA about becoming the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers? LeBron apparently told the Lakers, like, no more Band-Aid hires. I want you to go out and hire who you think is going to be the next coach of the Lakers for a decade. And on those, I guess, LeBron marching orders, JJ Redick doesn't seem to be in this conversation anymore. And Dan Hurley, who's coming off back-to-back titles, is a pretty interesting choice, if he indeed is the choice. What makes him interesting is the amount of success that he's having as a developer of young talent collegiately. He runs an NBA-style system where it's all about off-ball motion and hitting the open three, and that's how UConn has dominated college basketball the last few years. And he's got no NBA head coaching experience, which makes it a little bit of an odd fit. He's also got a firebrand that's going to have to be toned down. Like Dan Hurley flipping out on everything and every possession in an NBA game will wear his welcome out quickly on an NBA roster over an 82-game regular season, where you can scream and kick and carry on collegiately in a way you just can't as a pro. So Dan Hurley has to, be himself and tone it down all at the same time if he's going to coach at the next level. But no matter who he is, and I thought this was incredible, he's going to be LeBron's 4th coach in 7 years with the Lakers. 4 coaches in 7 seasons. What a pain in the ass the Lakers are to their head coach. They are. LeBron had 5 coaches over his first 15 years in the NBA. 4 coaches in 7 years. I don't know what number's more impressive there. 4 coaches in that short amount of time, or that LeBron's already been a Laker now for 7 years. Man, time flies when you're not having much fun, I guess. Fascinating. For the sake of college basketball, Dan Hurley's been great for UConn. UConn's been running roughshod over get Dan Hurley out of college. Sure. Break up UConn. Let's see. Oh, I had this for you. The Wall Street Journal today ran an article about the possibility of who's going to be the NBA's first $100 million a year player. And that sounds nuts, right? Who's going to be the NBA's first $100 million a year player? And to me, like, here's what we know. The cost of doing business with NBA players will never go down. It only seems to go up. There has got to be a bubble out there. There's got to be a level of, okay, these players are, but here's the thing though, it's written right into the CBA that players get a percentage of the media deal, of the franchise's revenue. So because of that, and the business and these franchises are doing just goes up and up and up. Player salaries just go up and up and up. Curry is going to make $55 million this season. Steph Curry is going to make $55 million from the Warriors alone. According to last year's numbers, there were 17 other players. So with Steph, 18 players in the NBA right now who are north of $40 million a year. It's a big number. Now, projecting the rate at which player salaries increase, which NBA revenue increases, which media rights deal increase, it feels like it's going to happen. Will it happen with like Luka Doncic or Victor Wembanyama? Like Luka might not be the first guy to a $100 million contract, but he might become the first on-court only billionaire, meaning on-court revenue. Luka's still only 25 years old. Can you imagine if he plays till he's like 40? I don't think he will, by the way that he's been already, a pro since he was 16 years old. He probably isn't going to have that long of a career. I don't know if this is a stereotype or not, but Europeans always have more of like a worldview, want to go do something other than just play basketball all their lives, I feel. For Nikola Jokic, obviously, he just wants to be with horse. But Victor Wembanyama, that could be our first $100 million a year player in the NBA. And look, I'm all about players as making as much money as possible, but you're starting to get into absurd, non-sustainable dollar amounts here. I'll tell you right now, with decent tickets, food for everyone, couple of alcoholic beverages for mom and dad, a couple of sodas and hot dogs for the kids, and maybe even a souvenir plus parking. With decent tickets, a family of four to go to a Warriors game is already in that $1,000 territory. Truly. Good tickets, a good evening, not penny pinching around who's eating what tonight, but yeah, we're going to eat when we're hungry, we're going to drink when we're thirsty, kids get a souvenir, and we got good seats tonight? You're about $1,000 for a family of four. Now, what's it going to be if there really is somebody out there making $100 million a year, for goodness sakes? $100 million a year? I remember when the Warriors were sold for like $400 million a year. How do you implode your own business? By creating an environment where it's just, it feels like it's unsustainable. Like everyone's going to be getting rich except for the fans who probably can't afford to go to games anymore, which means, are you all going to get as rich as you hoped you would? There's got to be a price point where, again, everybody says, no, I'm not buying that house. As much as I would like that house, as much as I would like to live in that house, you're at a price point that makes me go, can't do it. Now, we're moneyed up here in the Bay Area, but good God, can you imagine what's it going to be if some Indiana Pacer is ever commanding $100 million a year? I don't know how you sustain that. One other story, and it's amazing how much the WNBA has crept into a show that used to have no interest in the WNBA, and it's because of Caitlin Clark that this is happening, and all the off-court drama around how attention, something the WNBA has asked for and begged for all these years, now you finally got it. And like, all I can tell you, ladies, is welcome to the dope show. You wanted it, you got it. And there's apparently no going back. Angel Reese. Angel Reese. I got to tell you, Angel Reese, she seems like kind of an asshole. She really does. Let's just call it out. There's a lot about her that is very appealing. And to me, look, I like a good villain. I like somebody who's not afraid to wear the black cape, and someone who is, going to make things interesting. And Angel Reese does make some things interesting, but she basically, just earlier this week was saying, look, it's not all Caitlin Clark. It's me too. I'm part of building this league. And in some ways, she's accurate there. And in other ways, she's making it up. I'll tell you what, Angel Reese, besides you getting Wahoo McDaniel'd and choke slammed on a flagrant foul, I haven't seen a single highlight of you in the NBA with you actually being on the court in the NBA, except for when you got hard fouled. Angel Reese's other career WNBA highlights include whatever outfit she's wearing walking into the stadium, and 2, her applauding the flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark from the bench. She wasn't even out on there. So there isn't really an on-court moment that allows you to call yourself the magic to Caitlin Clark's bird. No, she's not that. She's part of, though, the drama. She's part of the noise that is receiving so much attention around the WNBA. And again, WNBA was looking for attention. They got it now. Oh, what do you know? They might not like it like this. Angel Reese gets off the bus with her teammates, and she tweeted, "Finding out our team hotel to pull up with the camera as we get off the bus and put it in my teammate's face and harass her is nasty work. This is really out of control and needs to stop." Honey, no. You wanted attention. You now do not get to dictate what level of attention you are getting. And by the way, the video that led her to tweeting that, I've seen it. It's the biggest scoop of nothing. This is not some paparazzi chasing Princess Di and Dodi Al-Fayed into a tunnel. It's not that level of paparazzi intrusion. This is a TMZ level intrusion at best, where a camera guy is just asking the woman who committed the big foul on Caitlin Clark, like, why'd you do it? Have you talked to her yet? And she's head down walking. Then some security guy comes out and pulls the no camera, trying to put his hand in front of the camera to ruin the video. You wanted attention, you got it. You then don't get to dictate that level of attention. And oh, by the way, as you are trying to grow your league, you want every single camera you got tracking girls coming off the bus. Like, come on. Angel Reese doesn't seem to get it. And again, she's kind of an asshole. Has anyone else got the guts to say that about her in a public space without getting pilloried? Probably not. She seems to be a little bit of an asshole. And that's fine. I like assholes. I'm one myself. But it takes one to know one. And, you can't play the pay attention, pay the attention. I'm part of Magic and Bird that the WNBA is receiving. No cameras, no quotes, no anything. No. It doesn't work that way. Does not work that way. Rockin' New Era is excited about free chips and a drink from Ike's. I want to make sure I got it right. Yeah, Dinner Damon. Dinner Damon is your promo code when you check out at Ike's. What else have we got going on here in the chat? It is good to see so many regulars. Look at all the Gina, by the way, she's coming out to line 51. Looking forward to see you. I think we're going to see a whole bunch of regulars out there. I certainly hope so. Red Jet is threatening an appearance. Michelle Haberman's coming on through. I'm looking forward to it. Skills report saying Cyndi Lauper was huge in 1984. She was. Cyndi Lauper's got some really good songs. I saw that she's coming to Chase Center. It's the Cyndi Lauper farewell tour. Okay. I'll tell you right now, if If you got free Cyndi Lauper tickets for me, I would go. I don't know if I'm paying to go see Cyndi Lauper, but if a pair of free tickets end up in my lap, I would go see Cyndi Lauper just to hear Time After Time. What a great song Time After Time is. If you're lost and you look and you will find me time after time. It's a great song. It's a great song. I remember when Cyndi Lauper was getting an awful lot of attention for the song She Bop, which is basically about a woman masturbating, which in 1984, 85, when that was on MTV, that was very taboo. Now I think you got like Nicki Minaj's new album is called My Fingers Are in My Pussy. So it's not really that much of a taboo subject anymore. Let's see. What else have we got for you today? Oh, how about this? I saw this today, our final story. Before we want to do a little Club Plus. Yeah, we'll happen to a little Club Plus today. Why the hell not? But did you see that Steph Curry, who was on our TVs, thanks to us being here watching the Warriors, he's going to be on our TV this summer, thanks to the fact that he's participating in his first Olympics. And there is more Curry coming soon to Peacock, apparently. I saw a story written by Axios that a sitcom starring Steph Curry is going to be premiering on Peacock later this summer. The story goes that longtime face of the Golden State Warriors will be playing himself on a show alongside Adam Paley, who's, I don't know who Adam Paley is. He's from a show named Knuckles, which I have not watched. And Ego Wodum, who is a cast member on Saturday Night Live. I know her. Again, you name, if your name is Ego, you'll stand out to me. I think she's very funny. Also love the waffles. Ego Wodum is very pretty too. Beautiful woman. So they are starring in a TV show with Steph Curry. And the article goes on to saying it could signal that Curry, who recently bought a building in San Francisco to serve as headquarters for his 30 Inc. business, is already planting the seeds now for a post-NBA career. The show is currently filming in the Bay Area. And the behind-the-scenes look is that the four-time NBA champ is slated to produce the show with his company Unanimous Media. And the name of the show was at one point called Mr. Throwback, but that name has been confirmed to Axios that the title's going to change before it actually comes out. And apparently, the premise of the show is there is a struggling sports memorabilia person or business who happens to be the sixth grade classmate of Steph Curry. And so shenanigans ensue as a struggling card shop now enlists Steph Curry to help them not struggle anymore. Okay, we'll see. Oh, excuse me. Did I say that Trevor Bauer was coming? Dude, sorry. It was my headspace was wrong. Grant Balfour is going to be there. Sorry, I am just didn't have my coffee early. Trevor Bauer will not be there. I apologize. It's not Trevor Bauer. Imagine that. That would certainly get some attention. Well, there you go. Screwed up the promo. Screwing up promo codes, screwing up promos. Again, it's the humanity that you keep on coming back for. The imperfections let you know it's definitely me. And again, perfect or imperfections, I want to thank all of you because, YouTube gives you a monthly report a few days after you get into the next month. So just look back at the May report. In May, there were 1,210 new subscribers. So if you were among that group, thank you for being here. Had 693,000 views, 1.4 million minutes watched, and we have last night just crossed the 5 million view threshold. And I thank you very much for watching. I thank you so much for listening on the podcast. Now, tomorrow will be a unique day. We're not going to be going live at 11 because of the Line 51 event. Looking forward to doing that. Hopefully you plan on listening or watching or being there. But if you are listening just right now to the podcast, I thank you so very much. If you were watching on YouTube, you'd be sticking around for Club Plus. But if you're listening on the podcast, I thank you for doing that. And please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Yeah, Club Plus. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Maybe we can put a disco ball inside of line 51 and do a Club Plus and just have Damon Amendola going, what the hell is going on here? Hold on. I got to make it sexy. Make it sexy. Turn this off. Make it sexy. Yeah. There we are. Look at that. The squeakiest disco ball in the game, baby. Squeakiest disco ball in the game. I can't believe I said Trevor Bauer was coming. I don't know. Let's see. We got Kaiser and Gilroy saying I'm plusing and watching a Team USA hopefully steal a win against Pakistan in the Cricket World Cup happening in Texas. Cricket World Cup. Sure. Yeah, Mark Graves is saying, hey, man, don't pull a Jonte Murray on us with a sip of the day. Yeah, I'm not going to rig the system. I'm not going to rig the game. I promise. Boomer T says Mavs going to win. I hope the Mavs win. I'll be rooting for the Dallas Mavericks. I really will be. Oh, ching, ching. Look at this. Doc Holliday coming in here. Damon, if you haven't commented on the obvious Caitlin Clark flagrant foul, would you mind? What do you mean, when she had a flagrant before she got bumped? Here's the thing. I think I've talked about the WNBA enough this week for my life. Here's what I do know about the WNBA, and this is what I would tell all the women in the WNBA who are complaining about amounts of attention, either doled out to Caitlin Clark or not being received to anyone. I have talked more WNBA in the last 30 days than I did in the previous 30 years, or however long the league has been around us. And it's because of one person. Fair, foul, right, or wrong, that's the deal. That's the deal. You know, we don't get to pick and choose the whys. We just know that it is happening. And it's happening through the prism of Caitlin Clark. The entire league, for an awful lot of casual fans, is being looked at through the prism of Caitlin Clark alone. And if that upsets everyone, no one gives a shit. At least I don't. Southpaw 707. Kyrie, the overrated king. Ah, man, have you been watching these playoffs? There ain't nothing about Kyrie that's overrated. That guy is the best player on the court, and the ball is in his hands more than Luka's during crunch time, man. Kyrie has been awesome. Skills Report says he can name 2 Oilers. Warren Moon and Haywood Jeffries. Absolutely. Southpaw 707 says no Lakers talk on Bay Area radio. This ain't Bay Area radio. Bay Area radio is far in my rearview mirror at this point in time. Oh, naming more Oilers. Thank you, Earl Campbell. Thank you. Yeah, True Blue forever. What happened to J.J. Redick? Dude, J.J. Redick needs to go back to being a halfway decent podcaster and lousy contributor to an NBA broadcasting crew. He's not ready to be an NBA head coach. Come on. Has J.J. Redick ever coached a high school team? That can't happen. That was always just like, I think, about getting J.J. Redick's name out there to promote the fact that he and LeBron got themselves a little bit of a podcast going out. And, it's just, it's promotion. What else have we got going on here in the chat this afternoon? Here is Hand Banana. It says, I don't know if there's no going back, Damon. Ratings and eyes outside of Clark are still not good for now. So it's tenuous start at best in terms of change. Make a buck of profit first. Oh, yeah. Like, here's the thing. How are Caitlin Clark's ratings as opposed to the other NBA games, WNBA games that she's not playing in? I don't even know. I'm guessing that the league is drawing better than it used to, but still nothing like games that Caitlin Clark is participating in. Mark Graves says jealousy is ugly. Women crab potting instead of lifting each other up. Let me tell you, man, I've watched my wife get betrayed in corporate America by the women who were in charge, who there's cattiness. There's some jealousy and there's cattiness and the whole like women are looking out for other women. Yeah, that shit goes about, it's nice on a t-shirt, looks good for a slogan, but it stops at the highest level of competition. It does. Like when there's a woman high up in corporate America, she got there because she's a shark, and sharks will eat their own babies when it comes to being what's best for them. You don't really become successful without looking out for yourself first and other people, maybe just a little, but very little. Anyone who is looking for fame and power and to consolidate that, it can be selfish. And jealousy is real. Look, jealousy is not gender specific, right? There are a lot of jealous men out there. There are a lot of jealous women. But for a league that was begging for attention for all these years and receiving none, you don't get to then complain about the level of attention that you are receiving when you're finally getting it. Like, you're lucky. You're very, very lucky that this one woman is a prism that is bringing so many people into the tent. Gareth, this is new. Is this true? Delonte West got arrested again. He needs help, dude. Look, if we're being really honest, knowing where Delonte West has been on his post-NBA journey, where he's been homeless and like living under a bridge at times, the man is not well. And he needs help, and he needs sympathy. And the fact he's even still alive is kind of amazing, given the roads it looks like he's traveling down. Chef A might not be able to make it. Damon, I'm trying to get the day off, but it doesn't look good. Stupid high school graduations. Oh, you go cash in on those graduations. We'll see you the next time. Amy, you've already put in the work. You've already put in the work. We will see you at the next Plus Mania 4. Have not announced Plus Mania 4 yet, but it's coming. True Blue forever. I like Eggos. Everybody loves Eggos. Shout out Eggo Waffles. Indeed. Shout them out. Shout them out. Sporticus. Balfour is the worst pitcher name of all time, unless there's a pitcher named Dinger out there. Yeah, like Balfour. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Speaking of Trevor Bauer, the Giants should call Bauer and release Snell. Man, Snell has done nothing. At least the Giants got off that losing streak with a couple crooked number innings and got a win in Arizona. I loved Holy Moly for about a season. Well, you're the one, True Blue Forever. Holy Moly was awful. It's awful. Steph Curry, the basketball player, it's been fantastic. Steph Curry, the anything else on TV? We'll see. Maybe you should call me. I'll help him out. I'll help create some content for him. Stacey Leo's coming to party, hopefully on Friday. We'll hopefully see you there. If you're going to make it squeaky. Sir Sports a Lot 88. Yes. Mavs in 7. It's a first official series call. Hey, give me a 7-game series, rockin' New Era 84. The NBA could use a 7-game series. This year's NBA playoffs, if we're being honest, have sucked. Not just because the Warriors aren't involved, but it's just been a lot of sweeps or gentlemen sweeps and so many rounds. And it's just, have we seen a 7th game anywhere yet? Have we seen a 7th game? I can't remember one. Joji says, Trevor Bauer can still pitch, but Farhan doesn't have the balls to sign him. Look, it's not just about that. Beyond Trevor Bauer's controversies, he's also a proven asshole. Like, his teams do not like him. His ex-teammates don't like him. His ex-teammates didn't like him before he was ever associated with, like, sexy choking. What do you do in your free time? I like sexy choking. It's weird, man. Third string all-pro says, it's because Caitlin Clark is white, plain and simple. See, I reject that. I really don't think... look, I'm not naive enough to believe that there's never race involved here, but this is, I think, jealousy over attention and money and profitability and being homecoming queen. You know, everyone's jealous of the homecoming queen who ain't homecoming queen. Whether the homecoming queen is white or black or blue or orange or green or red, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think that there's a level of jealousy that the popular girl always has to deal with. Again, I think it's lazy to just say this is all about race. It's bigger than that. It's about profile, it's about jealousy, and it's about knowing that Caitlin Clark over here and everything that ever happened in the previous 25 years of WNBA basketball over here, this is worth more than this. Caitlin Clark by herself is more important to the WNBA than the WNBA is to the WNBA. Is that fair to everyone else? Nope, but life ain't fair. Life ain't fair. Fever won't make the playoffs. No, they suck. They stink. But no one even cares. They just want to watch her. She's a turnover machine, by the way. she needs to get better. She will. By the way, Gino Auriemma, right? Who knows more about women's hoops than Gino Auriemma? And he's saying, yes, of course she's getting a rough initiation in the league, but they're also hunting her. They're also targeting her. Again, screw with the golden goose at your own risk. Sporticus is right. Denver, Minnesota went 7 games. Ta-da! That did go 7 games. Again, felt like it happened a month and a half ago. And there you go. I hope you make it out to line 51 tomorrow. If not, we're going to have some great video from the event coming to you. We'll have some more video coming from the parking lot of the Coliseum as the reverse boycott officially gets underway when the parking lot opens. Going to be at the game. Should be a fun time, and it will probably be the last time I ever set foot in the Coliseum. I've already told myself, I've been to 9. This is my final appearance in the Coliseum games between the Raiders and the A. It's ridiculous. But I do feel that this is going to be the last time. And then again, I gotta put it behind me. I gotta put it behind me. And I think everyone does. Sporticus, you're right. No one has the right to an unoffended or fair life. Amen. Amen indeed. Thank you to everyone for watching, for being part of this, for your support, for the channel growth. It means the world. Hopefully we'll see you at line 51. Hopefully you get free drinks and chips with Dinner Damon as a combo, as your promo code for the Ikes app. Get your combo. Have some Ikes for dinner, not just for lunch anymore. Thank you again all for watching. Just breaks my heart to let you know that you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here.